Hello, and welcome back to Behind the Business with Benedicta. Today I have two amazing guests. We have the Eman effect, Mr. Emmanuel, and we have Tayo, Bricks with Tips. Here to give us all that they have, their gems, their highs, their lows, their goods, everything we need to know about, the entrepreneur journey, the benefits, the negatives, everything, and of course banter. These two are brothers, so yes. They're going to be keeping it real. They're going to be giving us some jokes. But yeah, let me give Tayo the stage. Just tell the people a little bit about what you do with Bricks with Tips, in case anyone on this earth has never heard of Bricks with Tips. What's it about? What do you do?
I'm sure some people haven't heard, so it'll be good. Let me set the scene. Right? So, I'm the co-founder of a platform called Bricks with Tips.
Yeah.
Bricks with Tips is a
co-founder of who? Somebody.
Your wonderful wife.
I was getting there.
No. Don't delay. Don't delay.
You have to get into it properly, so it's. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I'm a co-founder. With who?
I'm the co-founder of a platform. Let me land. I'm a co-founder of a platform called Bricks with Tips, which aims to bridge the gap between. This guy's messed me up.
I told you. That was God punishing you. Mention your wife. Mention your wife.
Nah, let me get
it. He's got his ring on. He doesn't even need to.
Do you know what I mean? I'm a walking, talking testimony to marriage. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, it's a platform. It's a platform that bridges the property gap using education. Yeah. I founded it with my beautiful wife, Antoinette. We've been going strong for about 3.5 years with Bricks with Tips.
Wow.
By profession, I've worked in banking previously, but now I'm also a content creator, property investor. Antoinette's a property investor as well, and an accountant, and I'm a TV presenter as well.
Yeah.
Over to Eman. Don't take too long, you know how you get me.
Nah, man, I'm going to keep it easy because they know who I am, you know what I mean? No, no one's there.
Don't need no introduction.
No intro needed. If you don't know me, Google's your friend. I'm Emmanuel Asuquo, financial advisor, the Eman effect, and Tayo's big brother. So yeah, man, we're here.
So tell us actually, how long have you guys known each other for, and how long have you done business together for?
You go. You like.
He always wants me to go first, so we've known each other for time. So we went to the same church.
We grew up in.
Also very funny. Our church in particular, there's a lot of people that you probably know of, yeah.
Oh, right.
That all went to our church. So our church, people from our church are actually doing a lot. So Eman was actually my youth leader. Yeah. But what's funny about age is that as you get older, the age gap gets smaller.
Yeah.
So Eman was a big man for me back in the day. Like I remember one time when you're young, it's nuts, isn't it? So here's the story. Yeah. I'm gonna snitch on you, man. Actually, So one time, yeah. Me and my brother is a bit mad, isn't it? So when you go to church, you go to the youth area, innit? And my brother brought firework to the church.
What?
So we let off the firework outside.
In the
No, outside the youth place, innit? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
There's a separate building for the youth.
Separate building for the
that
youth.
We used to go and teach the youth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Eman is the youth leader them times, innit? And he's kind of like us as well. Eman's young himself, remember, innit? So what did he do? He told everyone to line up here. And the culprits, who's me and my boy, we had to firm it, and everyone punched us in the arm, innit?
Every man lined up, gave them
They
bang.
sacked him.
They've told me
inappropriate discipline.
No, they didn't sack him, they suspended him. He came back.
I came back, but they gave me suspension.
Wow.
But
it was too harsh.
But everyone was waiting for man to come back. But like we grew up so Tayo's mum is like my mum. Like in regards to like I go to when I used to live there, I used to go to their house to see their mum.
Yeah.
Their dad was one of my first clients when I become a financial advisor. One of my first clients was Tayo's dad. So I look after his pension and stuff like that. So like when I told the family ties, so we've grown up together. And like I said, being a youth leader and there's just a group of young people. So I've always had a passion for young people. But to see these lot, like I remember when I got my car, so like I said, 22, financial advisor, I get my company car, BMW 3 Series, black, cream interior. Hey, it was sweet. I remember parking this car. If you see these lot see this car, they were all like, the only person I know that drives this car are drug dealers. So it was the first time they'd seen somebody get it legitimately.
Yeah.
If you know that 60% of them went and did accounting finance degree.
Wow.
Yeah. All because I did accounting finance.
Inspirational, yeah.
That's how, and now most of them work in finance.
Yeah.
That is the power, and this is what I'm saying. Sometimes we feel like you've got to get a big title of it. Like I've been doing this in regards to aspiring the next generation. I've been doing this from time. So it wasn't now that I'm on TV that I'm like, I've been on this. It's genuine. I've been caring about the next generation and trying to inspire them and trying them to make them see different, because like who are they seeing that they can relate to, that can say, he's just like me?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, even like, man calls man youth leader. The church never wanted to call man youth leader. I was too of a rebel. Do you know what I mean? The way I did this thing was
But you were influencing them
But I was
anyway.
influencing the youth. And I remember one of my uncles coming to me saying like, sometimes you got to wait for title. You don't need to wait for title.
That's it.
How do the people see
That's
you?
it.
That's
That's
who
it.
you are.
That's it.
Forget what. Sometimes we're waiting for, like I see people frustrated in church because they've been working so hard, but they haven't been called elder or deacon. But it doesn't matter. Like,
not impact.
people know your impact, and your impact will live way past you. Some of us, you've been at that job working forever and you're not waiting for that promotion. Sometimes you've got to know who you are and know that you're at that level. So if they're not going to give it to you, go somewhere else and get it. Do you know what I mean? And so it's so important for us not to try and live to the titles, but these are my legacy.
Wow.
So for me to now be us, it always makes me feel crazy. Like for me to see Tayo, like who I see like my little bro, and now we're business partners.
Yeah.
And now we go on TV together. We do shows together. We got the same agent.
Talk to us about that. What deals have you guys been doing together, and the power of network? Maybe not all of them, but maybe one or two. And when you've worked together on TV and stuff.
So people know about. So we done a show called On the Money.
On the Money.
With Channel 4, sponsored by Barclays.
Yeah.
Which was good. It's funny. What that's really like is like they're like, oh yeah, so you guys like.
They tried to script it
I
for
want
you.
to, but they obviously they don't know. When we say, oh yeah, we know each other, they think that we know each other off IG or something.
Yeah.
So they were like, all right, cool. Come to, before we go to the studio to do the real thing, let's prep, let's do a test run. Me and Eman are thinking like, what's test run like?
Test
It's gone
for?
all the way to
Just pull
Chinatown.
up.
Chinatown.
It was like, you guys like prepped a little bit. Prep what?
We do this.
Pulled up, they loved it.
They loved it.
Oh, that's
They
good.
loved it because it's just natural, innit? Like,
Yeah.
Go way back, like.
Yeah.
So
Way back.
it's just too, not to say, I mean, in a podcast format, it's just literally too easy. But
Yeah.
man, we've been fortunate enough to work on things like that. We got some things cooking as well that are coming.
But even like Tayo getting into mortgage, do you know what I mean? So him wanting to become a mortgage broker because I was a financial advisor.
So I was actually on the financial advisor route.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was actually copying Eman on the financial advisor route, basically. But I guess financial advisor, you need to do 6 papers, right? I'd done 3 of them.
Right.
And I could either do the final 3 and become a financial advisor, or I could do 1 more, become a mortgage advisor, bump up my salary, and then do those other 3 to become a financial advisor.
Yeah.
I basically bumped up my salary to mortgage advisor, but then I just went into banking after I didn't do financial advisor.
Plus, because he done property, because he was doing property already, like once he understood mortgages, even it
made sense.
it just made so much sense. He understood how to then manipulate it and go even further.
Exactly. And talking about that, like the power of relationship and network, right? You talk about him being your youth leader and at the time making certain decisions. You know, how have you seen, not just even with you guys, in business generally, other business partners, other friends, how have you seen the power of relationship, level up your business individually and together as well?
I think it's so important. Like, so for example, like when he wanted to start, he messaged me, Eman, I see what you're doing. I'm thinking to do something on the property thing because them times he had a few properties. I'm thinking to do the same thing on the property thing, but he's on Twitter. He's like, I want to do on this Twitter thing. I'm like, I don't really do Twitter, but this is what I've done on social media. This is how I created a buzz, bruv. One thing about Tayo, I tell you, tell him anything. Nigerian. He's going to bust. He's gonna add salt and pepper and season it, and boom, it's on. So that Twitter thing flew. So then he's done the Twitter thing. Then he's like, he got his first show. Then he calls me, and this is the power of having. Calls me. I got my first show, got the first contract. I don't know if the contract's good. Can you get your agent to look at it? Can I get my bruv? I called my agent. Listen, my boy's got a show. Can you look at it? And maybe potentially, can you manage him? Have that conversation. She's like, are you sure? Because obviously you're both. I said, am I sure? Go and do your job. Go and do your job. And so then do that. And then so even now we talk about contracts, we talk about finance.
Yeah.
Like,
That's so important.
Do you know, it's so important. Make sure that we get the
I
right
think
bread.
there's a lot of people out there that, are just doing it on their own. And there's all this, like you say, Nigerian, bad eye. I don't want people to put their eye on my, what's it called? But actually, what you need to do is find the right people.
Exactly.
If you're scared of bad eye, it's probably because you do have bad eye from the wrong people.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you can't have good eyes, good people, contracts. And I think it's so, you guys both represent and replicate or show how important it is to have people on your level who speak the same language as you and who are trying to achieve the same things. You can't be talking about contracts with someone who's just wanting to do 9 to 5 and just get their salary and that's it. So yeah, I guess it's worked on that front with the agent as well. So I guess you sign up to his agent and all of that. And how have you seen that benefit your business with Bricks to Tips since having an agent?
It's funny because you go into television and they're like, cool, what's your day rate? I don't know whether the day rate's meant to be 7 bags a day or £7 a day. I really don't know, innit? So that's where you lean on the expertise of an agent.
And we're coming from nothing as well. So remember, if a man says, we're going to pay you 2,000, you think, sometimes when I get these things and it's like post on social media that I post for free, and someone says they want to give me £500, aren't you a fool? But I'm the fool because really it should be 5k. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why you've got to have an agent that understands, okay, what's the real value?
And this is why it's important, just to answer the question you asked before. The 2 things you need to do, is you need to show and you need to talk. Showing is going to let people know what you do. And that allows people to come to you and say, X, Y, Z, I can help with this. But showing also inspires people. If Eman told us, accounting and finance is sick, we might not have heard it. But we've seen the car. we've seen the fruits of the labour. So it's like, I've tuned in now. The next thing you need to do is talk, and whether that's networking, tell people what you do. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's so funny. Just 2 days ago, I've got a Telegram group, a property Telegram group, and we all share stuff in it. I think you're in the group as well, innit? Literally just 2 days ago, bro, some guy, one of the guys that contributes to the group a lot, he was like, look, he needs something. He's like, whenever I know someone who needs an emergency property to stay at, basically. They got scammed on Airbnb. They needed an emergency property to stay at. It's like, cool. All right, let me see what I can do. Then I just remembered that I got a property that was meant to be ready for Monday. And today, the day was Wednesday, innit? So I'm like, tell him I can get it ready for Friday. How long is he staying for? The guy's got a 60-night booking, bro. You get what I'm trying to say? So just through network, it's helping business as well. If that platform didn't exist, that wouldn't have happened.
But then also, it's not just network. It's about actually taking people off social media into your own group.
Yeah.
That's why you can have these conversations. One of the biggest problems that a lot of people have is that you're relying on Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, LinkedIn, Facebook. But if these men close your account, you're finished.
You're finished.
And that's happened to a lot of people.
It's happened to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because especially people trying to scam your account and then they don't know, then they just delete
close everything. Yeah.
They you show them so much loyalty. You need to take it off their platform, basically.
That's exactly what I was going to go into. As soon as you said that, at the end of the day, social media is amazing. Yeah, you get to reach people. But in terms of longevity in business and business strategy, a lot of people need to come out of the social media bubble.
Yeah.
And like you say, build that channel, get them off and, get them into your own space where you can reach out to them and kind of control. Data is so important,
so
right?
important.
Whoever owns the data owns the power.
Yeah.
So funny. Back in the day when they were saying the data is going to be more valuable than oil, people thought it was a joke. People thought it was a thing. And now it is.
Yeah, literally.
But then I think also just seeing these guys, for me, I think it's that inspiration, right? So Tayo had a birthday party. And so all my little young ones from you, they're all there carrying their own kids, all doing well. And I know, listen, when I'm in this place, the respect is it's mad. And to me, that means more to me than any TV show or any likes or comments. I know there are a group of young people, and that's why for me it's so important to give back. Do you know what I mean? Because I know that these man, the way they was acting mad. If you know how much times man phone me, I'm in prison. I've just got this. Can you do you understand what I'm trying to say? And now I'm juggling what am I gonna do? And so to see them now holding their kids, all professionals,
responsible people,
responsible professional jobs, make good money, make good decisions. Most of them married. You think it's not normal, but when the people that you look up to have set a standard, you're gonna follow that.
Exactly.
And so it's so important, like what you're saying, to share the journey.
Share
don't keep it to yourself.
And share it and make impact in real life.
Yeah.
A lot of people are building online. It's a bubble, but actually the real value comes when you are doing it in real life. And I want to relate that even to property, right? Yeah, you can talk about property all day, but until you own a house, you ain't got nothing. Until you are buying and selling, And so there's that place of making sure that your offline or your online life reflects the reality of your offline life. And they talk about people who pretend to do whatever, pretend to own bags and go on first class flights and all that. Obviously, we're not talking about that, but just encouraging people to have real life impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny you say that. I think it's so true. I think the main thing that people need to be is honest and transparent. People love transparency now anyway. In the world of social media, they love transparency. I genuinely think, I'm of the opinion that someone can be a good teacher. So I genuinely think that someone can be a good teacher in something, even though they're not the best at it. Someone might have just bought their own property recently, but they can teach you about the home buying process extremely well, basically. But they just need to be, in the same breath as they're doing that, they just need to be able to be telling people that I only bought my property 6 months ago. However, the process is fresh to me and blah, blah. Just show your strengths, innit? And this is what people like, innit? So, yeah.
I think it's so important, like you said, to do that because people feel like imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
And especially, you know, one thing, especially in this finance space, when people get around me, they're like, "Yeah, man, I'm not a real advisor like you." I'm like, chill out.
Yeah, relax.
Don't put that on me. That's your own insecurity. Chill out. If you want to get a qualification, get a qualification. If not, chill out. Like, it's okay. Like, it's so important to understand that some people don't want to hear it from me. So it's so important for you. Like, one of the things is that people are like, Eman, like, people call you and do you share? Like, do you feel like there's competition? There's no competition. None. There's zero competition because I know what is for me will always be for me. It doesn't matter. Like sometimes my age, like, so I'm on this Barclays deal, so I'm tied in. So some brands will come reach out to me and I can't do it. And my agent will be like, "Oh, is it okay if I give it to Tal?" Of course, give it to Tal.
Yeah.
If I can't give it to somebody
that I know.
Bro,
The money's
that money's gonna feed his family and his kids. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, so much times we get so uptight. Like, I know sometimes I go in there and I see certain people doing certain ads and you think, "Oh, I could have done that ad," but you can't do everything.
You can't. You literally
can't do everything. And guess what? Because you're not doing that ad, another brand is going to use you. Another thing is going to come your way. And I think so much we are so on. Because we come from poverty, because we come from scarcity, we feel that there's limitation. When you understand we live in a life of abundance, when there's an unlimited amount of money that you can make, there's a cost of living crisis, people are still doing private jet. Do you understand? There's cost of living crisis, people are on ships. Cost of living crisis, people went down to the bottom of the sea to look at Titanic. Do you understand? You have to understand there's a unlimited abundance. So you've got to understand, when you understand that concept, and rather than feel like, "Oh, there's only so much, I've got to keep it to myself." And this is scriptural. Because we talk about, you know, the talents and the person that put the talent in the drawer in the he said, "Listen, you unfaithful sir, I gave you something and this is all
how have you used it?
How have you used it? You decided to hide it." So this is not, and this is why sometimes when people tell me like, "Oh, you know, the Bible ain't relevant," to me it's every day, like every day. And sometimes we don't see ourselves, but we are the person with the talent that put it in a drawer and said, "Oh, there's not enough," and actually we need to take what we've got and go and multiply it. Do you know what I mean?
And almost like, I don't want people to see my shine,
exactly,
so that they don't look at me some kind of way.
And remember, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's it.
People are scared of failure, afraid to do stuff. But guess what? Anything you don't do, you've already failed.
My brother,
my brother, chief.
You got to be in it to win it.
Straight.
If you ain't in it, you can never win.
But the problem is when we want to be in it, we want to do lottery. We want to do crypto. You struggle to change your password on your phone.
To do the maximum overnight.
You struggle to change password on your phone and you think crypto's your answer. It's a mad concept. Like, the mindset is crazy. Like, I'm broke. I know I'm gonna go and do this lottery. And you know the maddest part, we think that because we didn't listen maths, we think that the more that we do it, the more chances we have to win. I don't think people understand how probability works.
Bro, it's crazy.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that.
Every week you have the same chance.
It's a fresh probability.
No, but because you wasn't listening in maths class, you was talking to girl. Now look what you're doing. Your money is wasted.
Down the drain.
Do you understand? So it's so important that we actually understand that rather than waste our money on lottery or the next best thing or this investment that's gonna triple your, put in the work.
We speak about that earlier, innit? Like the old ways of money. The old ways of making money are still relevant today.
Always. That's why they're still relevant.
They're still relevant.
They still win today.
When you look at most people talk this stuff about, listen, I did this thing about property, like leave your mum's house, go back. If you're in Canary Wharf and your mum's got a yard, go back to your mum's yard, stack your dough.
That's our bank of mum and dad.
People was crying. Eman, what about my mental health? Eman, I can't. No, I'm too old to live with my mum. I can't do this. I can't do that. You know, the mindset is crazy. Imagine you are comfortable giving a stranger £2,000 a month, but you would struggle to give your own mum £200 or £500.
I don't understand.
And it would help the family. It helps everybody.
Yeah.
But your mindset is so much so that you prefer outside than your own family.
Let's talk the other side. Yes, that's good. And yes, we would encourage that. But there are some people who have literally, their own family members have turned on them. Have you got examples of where, like, even in business, like, someone has done you dirty or there's been some negative outcome? You trusted someone or whatever and they've just taken the mick.
Do you know what it is, yeah? For most things in life, there's a trade-off in it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, when man goes to work, I actually don't, when I was in the corporate world, I don't like going to work. But they pay me to be there. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So sometimes you got to say to yourself that let's just say that you weren't giving money to your mum. You're in Canary Wharf because your mum is jarring you or your siblings are jarring you. Would you go back there to be 2 bags up? That's what you got. That's what you got to ask yourself. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because that's 2 bags. Let's say your work is paying you four bags. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, do you get what I'm trying to say? Your work is paying you 4. That's half of your income gone. Yeah. So you got to ask yourself, like, would you tolerate that from your mum from 5 till 9 until you go to sleep here? Come on. Or until you go to your bedroom. Some of you go to your bedroom once you get home anyway. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
More time is ego. That's the thing. More time. The thing that is keeping you down, that is stopping you, is ego. Yeah. Because you don't want to ask for help and you think you're too big for your parents. So now you're just trapped doing stuff. Like, I always tell people, are you living or are you being lived? For a lot of people, you're being lived. The alarm clock rings, you get up, you eat breakfast, you go to work, you have the same meal at lunchtime, you come finish work, you go home, you watch the same EastEnders, you go to sleep. That's not living. That's not living. And why are you in this situation? Because you just blow all your dough. And so you're forced to work. You know what the worst thing for me was? Being in an employment and knowing that I can't leave because I've got overdraft, I've got loans, I've got car. Imagine, I remember having a car, I lost my job, I had to get the first job I could get. I was on 60, the job I got was on 30. Wow. I had this Mercedes outside. All I could do is afford the monthly payments to keep my credit good. Wow. I could not put petrol in this car. Wow. I used to come home, I used to want to kick this car. I used to hate this car. And for 12 months, all I could do was just pay the month, and I couldn't. The only time I could drive is my wife gave me petrol to put in this car. Wow. And those
stories are sick though.
And so when you see man now, bruv, no one can't. Anything I want to do, I'm happy. No one can tell me anything. But the point is that I put myself in that situation because I wanted to live life to a max. I wanted to live my life to the max on somebody else paying me.
That's it.
How can my security be on somebody else's time? Because I'm just a number.
Facts.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in the employment world in the UK, we always said is that there's an invisible ceiling. Come on. So in America, they'll pay you your worth, innit? Do you get what I'm trying to say? But I always give the example of people like Gary Lineker, one of the best sports broadcasters. His salary is on the BBC. We all know it's a low. This guy would be making millions and millions a year if he was in the US. But in the UK, they just got a problem in the employment world of paying you what you're worth. So that's why you kind of got to take it, in some cases, to your own hands and drive your own business.
And that's why you got to see your business as an income, your employment as an income stream.
That's it.
Rather than your only income, it's just a stream of income.
My husband tells me all the time. He's like, but you know that your job, your 9 to 5 is your side hustle, right?
Come on.
Literally. Straight. And I think that mindset alone helps you to think outside the box, because a lot of people, like you say, you're taught, go to school, get a 9 to 5, get the best job you can get, and then, that's it. But actually, no, why can't my business be the main thing? And then if I want to do a little contracting on the side, do a little day rate or whatever, no problem. We'll add that to the bank. We're not going to say no, as long as you can handle it. But again, it's a mindset thing. And I think it takes a lot for people to come out of that day-to-day mindset that's been instilled in you. But I'm really excited when I see people like you guys, people like myself, who are hopefully raising a generation of children, a next generation of children that know that I can make my own money. I don't have to wait for somebody else. And if somebody else will give me money, then I'll just add that as an extra stream. Exactly. And that doesn't have to be the main deal.
And my thing, when we talk about property, when you look at millionaires, or billion, majority of their millions comes from property and business. So why are we so anti-property all of a sudden? We hate it. All of a sudden now, especially in the UK, we hate property. You guys are holding property and no one else can't buy a house, or the house prices are going up. House price, if we don't own it, somebody else is going to own it.
This is the thing. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. It's like, the government isn't going to save you. No. It's evident. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, they're hoarding all the property, not letting us get it. It's like, grab one. Why stocks lost?
Stop fighting. Stop complaining.
You know, like in the riots where everyone's just grabbing what they can get.
But they don't have to go to Selfridges and queue at Christmas to go and fight for television and when it's Black Friday or all these. They won't fight for this thing.
I want to say it's not fair thing. I don't really, that it's not fair. Yeah. But the thing is, when you say it's not fair, someone's not going to magically come down and say, all right, I've made it fair. It's not fair. You got to get unfair.
That's it.
But then my thing is, if we know, the thing for me is, if I know it's not fair and I know that it's against me, why do I continue to play to their system as if I know it's fair? If I know that there's an advantage for another group to me, why do I act like I'm part of that other group? Why do I try to move like what they do, I can do? I have to know that I can't do what you do because it's not fair. Therefore, what's the best thing I can do is group with people that are like me and try and get something done. But instead, what do? We fight one another.
Fight each other. Listen, it's simple as this, yeah. You know it's going to be some gusty weather. It's going to be windy. Do you stand behind the wooden picket fence or the brick wall? Yeah. The government is the brick wall. They own property. Do you get what I'm trying to say? All of these man are all in property. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So you know when things are getting shaky, when it's getting windy, even though it may seem like they're always going to protect their thing. I always give the example during the pandemic. Looked like property was going to fall. They went ballistic. Started putting in stamp duty holiday, mortgage payment holiday, furlough, everything to keep it alive. I said the pandemic happened March 2020. You were allowed to go on property viewings in April. It's crazy.
So think about it. Not only that, when it's time to come out of the pandemic, what do? Eat free. Eat free. Yeah. Why? Because we don't make anything.
Yeah.
We don't make anything. So what do you have? The only thing we have, financial service and consumerism.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only two things we have in this UK. Not like other countries where they've got farmland. The farmers here produce something like 2% or less than 5% of the food that we eat.
And the price is not even competitive.
Come on. You can ship from New Zealand and
Australia, it will be
cheaper than here.
Yeah.
Imagine. So and that's because the government subsidizes it so much. That's how it even works. So what I'm saying is that for us, it's like actually ownership is the only way that we're going to get the respect that we want.
100.
And that's owning anything, whether that's a business, whether that's stocks. So imagine people are complaining about certain companies and if we own the shares of that company, when they have the shareholders meeting, who is there?
Yeah.
When it's time to do the vote, who is voting? The company's going to have to change.
That's it.
But we will just be complaining and spending.
And buying from the same company.
I tell people, the amount of money you spend in Primark, why don't you own shares in the company that owns Primark? The amount of money, one of the best shares is the Louis V. They're one of the best shares. Man don't own none of the shares. Man has no say, but man will queue outside and they make you wait. There's hardly anybody in the shop. You're still waiting 1 hour to get in. Because that's how they treat you. Because they want you to make you feel like it's something special, something exclusive. You are special already. That's why when I do my consultations with clients, the first thing I tell them, love yourself. I don't want to talk about finance. I don't want to. Do you love yourself? We are going to spend the first half an hour of this session talking about ways that you can love yourself. Because until you love yourself, nothing else is going to change. You're going to continue to find love in the car that you drive, in the holidays that you go into, the likes that you get on social media, and that's all fake.
Yeah. And even in the properties as well that you buy. The thing is with property is good. Property will take you to the next level, but it's still not your identity. Like it is a form, it is a stream of it, and it's exactly what you're saying. We need to understand it for what it is. It is something that can pay the bills. I'm not gonna now be on my high shoulder or my high horse or whatever because I own 20 properties. Even if I own 20 properties, that's not where the real value of my life is. It is just me being sensible so that I have money coming into the bank so I can do the thing that I like.
I love it. These are buy one house, property investor. I love it. They
Change the Bible.
The LinkedIn is gone. Property investor.
One house.
1 yard. All shared ownership in that.
Like, they're claiming it. They're claiming it.
20%. Man's property investor, you know. Jeez, you invested with the government.
They're claiming it.
My goodness.
They're claiming it.
And so it's so important that we understand that these things don't mean anything. You are valuable with or without them. But like we're saying people are cussing property, but at the end of the day, saying, oh, but we can rent because look at the interest rates right now. The rate of rents have gone up higher than the mortgage rates.
And
nobody's talking about it.
Madness.
I was speaking to someone the other day. He said his landlord increased his rent by £400
and you know,
in one go.
And you know, if your landlord increases your rent by £400, negotiate with him, but don't do the whole, all right, cool, I'm leaving at the end of the month. Because when you get back out there,
you're gonna see,
and you see what's out there, the property's worse.
He's now, that person is now trying to buy.
Yeah.
But that person can't even find a house to buy because everyone's trying to buy.
Why did it take that for him to say that now I want to buy though? That's
exactly.
This is the problem. You know what it is? A huge problem that we're seeing in our community is just a lack of long-term planning. You know what I'm trying to say? You're not thinking 3 years ahead, basically. It's like Eman said, your alarm clock goes off, you work 9 to 5. What is the long-term change that you're aspiring to? That's what you always need to ask yourself.
Come on.
And that's where, if you start having a long-term goal or long-term change that you want to aspire to, that's when you will start saying, do you know what, for that long-term goal, let me save this amount. And
you won't be buying the Mercedes.
Let me save this amount and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's where that comes from.
Trust me, even now, like I tell my wife, like, my car, I've been meaning to change it. I keep telling myself, bro, I don't even drive that much. Like, I'd rather buy another yard. Like, I'm not. I remember when again, because I had nice cars from when I started at Barclays and all the banks I work at, they always gave me company car. I used to feel like, I need to drive a nice car. Bruv, car or no car, I'm still me.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that, like, you have to understand who you are and what's your value. Like, sometimes I feel like we get our value from all of these things, and even the social media can be addictive. If people don't get 100 likes on a video, their world is over.
Yeah.
They
might even delete it.
Delete it. My work. Like, come on, man. It's all right. Like, for me, these things happen. Like,
and this is the thing, it's real life, right? This is the thing about building or just living completely in some bubble that doesn't exist. In real life, some bits will give and some bits will not. Yeah. Sometimes you will go to Tesco and they will not have your favorite whatever. You burn down the whole shop because they don't have your favorite type of bread or whatever it is. You just move on.
You gotta make it a reality. For me, like, no one can't. When people talk about this Love Island, you could never ask me what's happening in Love Island. Do you know what I'm doing in life? No disrespect to nobody that's on that. But I know what I'm doing in life. Yeah. And those hours is not for me. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'd rather people are watching Love Island single. Man, talk to somebody.
If you were in a relationship, you would be watching Love Island.
Come on, even what you're single. You're watching Love Island and watching other.
You're talking about relationship. If you have something that you're trying to do, you're trying to achieve the plan. Trust me, that time you could use it for the business.
These things are recorded. Remember, you can binge. You can take time off and binge it. But people will do the pre-Love Island on Twitter. Watch it, then go back to Twitter after.
Is there a guilty person in the house?
Hey, Love Island Twitter bags though. Love Island Twitter bags.
Ask them to write a report. They will tell you it's too long. Ask them to listen to audiobook. They'll say, I keep falling asleep. But for Love Island, they're doing 4 hours straight every day.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on.
It's true still.
Then you tell me why.
They join the Twitter space till 2 a.m.
Come on. Now you're complaining. Why not me? Oh, you're blessing this. You're not blessing me.
And it's that thing about investment, because you think investment is only when I have money to buy a house. No, your time.
Is everything.
When we talk about businesses, you guys are here with business. I have a business. The highest price I've paid for my business is the time that I put in.
Come on.
It's never been, how much I paid for this or how much I paid for that. It's the time. But the time can produce results if you use it properly. Yeah. So you don't need to be waiting for your mum or your dad to give you 20 bags or whatever before you can
and the thing
invest.
It's the skill. One thing I tell T, like, sometimes I remember I used to be afraid to lose everything. I'm not afraid because guess what? I will just do it again.
Build it again.
Not even on a cocky thing. I just know I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done it now.
Yeah. That thing's scary though, I can't lie.
It is scary. And do you know what it does?
I got a bit too bad with it. It's like,
it makes you want to keep on opening new things as well.
Yeah, opening new things. But even when it comes to like spending bread, sometimes it's like,
we'll just make it back. But you know what, scary, it's a nice place to be though.
It's a nice place.
It's better than being like, if I spend this, oh my God, my life is over.
The other day I was going to book something, I said, bruv, that's free consultations.
But that's how it should be.
They'll come and claim it.
I just know the formula. How many videos on social media it produces? Like, once you understand the clockwork, you can understand how to produce and how to make that.
And this is what I say to business. So one of the reasons why I'm doing Behind the Business, right, is because as an accountant, obviously, I deal with businesses all day. Yeah. And so I have many of these kind of conversations offline. And so I wanted to bring it to the forefront. But it's exactly that. A lot of people as well are in their business, but they don't understand the workings of their business. Exactly. So, I like to sell hair. I make food. I make bread, or I sell clothes. But what do you need to do to be able to keep on making it? If you know you're making, I don't know, 5K a month from your business, what did you do to make? Was it luck? Or was it like you said, if I do 5 social media posts and I do this and I do that, then I can make another 5? Because actually, when you can get into that mindset, you can own and have anything you want. Yeah, because you can produce the income to pay for it.
The system's there. All you need to do is scale it.
The first thing I told her, when you start this social media thing, focus on income generating activity. Because let me tell you, you can be busy. I see people, I'm so busy.
Posting.
Doing things that make you £10. Work it out. Like, when I tell you, people be busy. When you work out what you're busy doing, it doesn't make no sense. I always say, Bill Gates can come downstairs and greet people at the door, give people the best greeting in the world, make them feel welcome. I understand. I'm more valued in the boardroom. Yeah. I make more money. I'm more useful there. So I'll hire someone. Some people are in their business, you're still answering the door. Yeah. You're still doing the email. Bruv,
let it go.
How much time does this take? If you know the value of your time, and I know, okay, if I can put 2-3 hours to this, I can make X. Can X pay for somebody to give you that 2-3 hours back?
But then this comes to mindset as well. We need to be willing to pay the price. We're still trying to be frugal and scrimp and scrape. If I pay somebody £25 an hour, it's too much. Let me quickly do it myself.
And this is the problem. This is why we have one people businesses. It's true. This is why we're not growing.
That's it.
Why are we not having franchises? If you find, think about it. like you said, hair. If I've got a hair business and I know that it sells to a certain group in this area, are these people not in other places? So why don't I then say, look, oh, guess what? You live there. I've looked on this map and seen that this demographic is in your area. Would you like to franchise? I can give you the product, and you can go.
We need to think bigger.
We don't think bigger.
We need
That's
to
actually
think
very
bigger.
true. Yeah.
We need
They're
to think.
one people business.
Yeah.
When other people are getting investment to buy other people's businesses.
Because you're gonna hit capacity basically.
Exactly. Then what
That's
happens when we
it.
hit capacity? I'm tired.
I'm tired. Burn out.
Burn out. What do? We sell it or we
Close
give
the
up.
business. Yeah.
And guess what? Somebody else comes into the market. That's why the things that vex me are. I remember I finished. I live near Downham, so I'm in Bromley, but near Downham, and so I look at the kids, black kids, all line up. They're the chicken shop.
£1 chicken and chip. Well, it used to be
It's
£1.
all the Asian man. I said, when I think about it, why is the Asian man feeding our kids? Then I look at wet plantain.
Yep.
It's a Turkish man.
Yep.
If the Turkish man is feeding our adults, why wouldn't the Asian man feed our kids?
Yeah.
Bruv, if we can't feed ourselves as adults,
Yeah.
why are we going to feed our kids?
Facts.
So these are the things.
And it all comes back to ownership.
And we have no problem with it.
And you know the worst thing is, even talking about that, the ownership. When you then now see, for example, an African food shop
Come on.
that is owned by a Nigerian or a Ghanaian, the stuff is not even fresh. In fact, or they've bought it from the Asian man down the road and now add money to come and sell. So they don't even do that bit properly.
But you know what that bit is? That again, that's communication, that's community. Because what happens is that when you see the Asian shop, man are buying it, all the Asian shops buy it together.
Yeah.
So they buy it together.
They buy in bulk,
So
yeah.
we all know economies of scale, right? We learned that
Yeah.
at school from earlier, economies of scale. So because they buy all, they place their order all together. Why? Because there's trust.
Yeah.
What's the first thing they destroyed in us? Trust. We don't trust one another.
Yeah.
So what happens is that black shop is on their own.
Yeah.
When they're ordering
Just
20
small.
of
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
so the price is higher.
It's that mindset of like, I don't really want to tell people what I'm on and so on and so forth.
But are we ready to pay the premium? Because guess what? When I go to the Jewish bakery, bruv, it's more expensive. The bread is more expensive than Tesco, but they queue. They queue.
They're worth it, yeah.
Because they understand when I buy this,
I'll
bread,
rather buy from my
going in my
person.
community.
Yeah, facts.
But are we ready to pay the premium? Are we ready to travel?
To do that.
But then how can we travel if you don't advertise? How can we advertise if you have no marketing budget? I speak to business all the time.
How
Have you
much
got a
you-
marketing budget?
No way.
Marketing?
Do you know what? It is getting better, but I think it just needs to be at a quicker pace.
That's what I was
basically.
going to say. From when you guys started till now, what positive changes, as we round up, what positive changes can you say you've seen in our community, in the black space, in business?
I think one of the best things is that we are now creating businesses in other areas. It's not all just hair. And, we are doing technology. We've got technology businesses. We got HR businesses. We've got businesses in other areas, which is so important. But we need more.
Yeah.
That's something that we need to complete the chain. I need to be able to, whatever I buy on a daily basis, I need to be able to buy it black.
Yeah.
And until we get there, it's going to be difficult because the money's going to continue to seep out. It doesn't
Even down to services like schools,
if you don't have
education.
schools.
There's no black schools.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well-
And why is that? Because there's no finance.
Yeah.
But yet we have money for the black pound. When they do black pound, when you look at how much the black pound is worth, it's so much money. But we spend it on luxuries, on outside and other people's stuff. We need to start looking at how do we start putting it into ours. Like you said, education. There are certain things in schools that we always complain about. I can't believe they teach this and they teach that.
Where's your school?
Where's our school to say that we don't have to teach that? It doesn't exist.
Where's our bank?
Don't even get that.
I do think it's getting better though, and I just think that like my examples will probably be like when I was growing up, African restaurant. What would you think of? 805.
805, okay, road.
But there's a few more now. Do you know what I'm saying? It's at a slow pace, but it is getting
the
better,
levels,
innit?
the levels.
Even like when you think about in the media, artists and stuff, a lot more artists are taking like their record deals a bit more seriously. They're using their friend as a tour manager, and they're using their bridges as
Bringing
managers.
people in,
Even
yeah.
in television, you see some people are making their own production companies now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm big enough now. Now, if you want to make a show with me, it's my production company and your production company.
Yeah.
Ownership. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But we just need to. It goes back to what we said at the very beginning of the podcast. We need to see it spoken about more. Because when it's spoken about, people learn and they're like, yeah, that's the pattern I'm going to use basically. And hopefully it will multiply and speed up.
Yeah, I agree. I think also, you know, we're seeing people like angel investors. We're seeing people that want to invest.
Yeah.
But I think it's so important that we have these conversations, like, you know, Andy with his angel investment school, just to teach us if you want to start investing in business.
This is how you do it.
What should we look for?
Education,
we've got to build the
information.
trust back. Because when we can trust one another, all of a sudden we can come together. We can start buying together. We can start doing stuff together. We can start having the confidence to set up business and know we're going to be supported. Do you know what I mean? We don't want to have to beg for customers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you put your product out there, understand you represent. So make sure it's proper.
Yeah.
Do the testing. Don't just be excited to say, I've got this product, put it out there.
Yeah.
Do the testing, get the license, get the certification.
Do it properly.
Take pride in what you do, because understand that if you do it wrong, now the trust is gone again.
It's gone again, yeah. And you know what, I'm going to end on this story talking about, you know, bringing other people in. I had a situation recently where, I say not I, but a situation I was aware of recently where it was a one-man band kind of accounting company, and the guy unfortunately passed away. Nobody knew his passwords. Nobody had access to anything. His son was even working in the company but still didn't have that information. So he's passed away. And the next day you're hearing customers calling, I need this, I need that, I need that. And nobody can help. And, you know, for me, that was just the moment. And I was just like, you know what? This one-man band thing, this doing it on my own, it's just not good enough. If you really are willing to invest so much time into your business, you say you're passionate about what you're doing, you have to bring someone else in. Like it almost doesn't make sense anymore to try and say I'm doing it all on my own. And so the power of collaboration, networking and all of that, you know, it can't be overemphasized, I should say.
No, I love that, man.